Did you ever just feel that you're craving a particular food, whether it be chocolate, crisps, fizzy drinks, wherever it may be? In this video, I'm going to run through why we get cravings, but more importantly, what we can do to reduce them. Bear with me while I talk through this. Look, the main reason we get cravings, number one, is sugar. And for loads of different reasons, which we're going to go through now in a sec. But the main reason is that sugar causes spikes in our energy, or in our blood sugar to be more specific. And the best way to think about this is like a roller coaster. When we consume sugar, it gives us a instant release of energy, probably too much energy. And it's like a roller coaster. We absolutely peak, we get a sudden rush of energy, but what comes up must come down. And then after maybe an hour, half an hour, that rush of energy drops because we can't consume it. There's just too much energy to use in that particular time, so it has to go somewhere, as usually stored as fat. But what this results in is us feeling tired, fatigued, drained. And do you ever get that brain cloud after having a really sugary snack or whatever it may be, where you just feel drained? And to put this in perspective, it's a vicious circle that happens, that when we have, say, high sugar goods or foods, it leads to this instant spike in our energy levels. Then it crashes. Then we feel tired again. Then we're searching for sugar again to bring us back up or give us more energy. And we do this again and again and again. So orange juice and cereal, sugary snacks, chocolate, donuts, crisps, jellies, fizzy drinks, but also refined carbs as well. These are the likes of your white bread, your white pasta, your white rice, anything which has been stripped of its fibre. And we'll talk about this in the next few minutes. But this, to put in perspective again, this is kind of what happens on a daily basis when we have a day full of sugar. Let's say, for example, in the morning time we have our orange juice and we have our Cheerios, both full of sugar. Leads to a sudden increase of energy, and then we crash again, say about 11 o'clock. Then we're searching for something else. Say, for example, a Nature Valley bar here, which again is full of sugar. Same thing happens. Then comes the lunchtime, 12:30, 1 o'clock. We are starving again. We are drained. Our energy levels have crashed. We're looking for something as well. Say, for example, a white bread sambo with sauces on it, which again are full of sugar. Same thing happens. We crash. Come 2-3 o'clock, we're starving again. And this is what happens when we consume too much sugar, and sugar from an really early part of the day, i.e. at breakfast. And another reason why we get cravings is because processed foods and sugary snacks have the perfect blend of fats, sugar and salt, which make them really, really tasty, but also really addictive. And the likes of, say, Pringles, chocolate, Coca-Cola, Haribo, sweets, high sugary goods, highly processed goods, release the same chemicals to our mind that drugs do. That's dopamine. And it gives us a really happy feeling for a few seconds, and then we're searching for that buzz again. That's what happens on a highly processed food diet. We get that hit of dopamine and we're searching for something again and again and again. And combined up the high blood sugar levels, it just leads to intense cravings. And another reason we get cravings as well is because of our environment. Think about this. Say, for example, you finish work, you sit down in your sitting room and you watch a movie. You have a ritual. Anytime you do this, you're reaching for a snack, whether it be popcorn, chocolate, crisps or things like that. That could be just what you do in the evening. That's going to condition you that anytime you sit down in the evening time, you're going to think that is the thing to do. Immediately, your environment around you is going to trigger off different cravings. You're sitting down and watching a movie, then bam, you're thinking about, I need chocolate, I need crisps, I need my fizzy drink, wherever you may need. And that is going to lead to snacking throughout the night. And then again, combine that with the dopamine that's being released and then the high sugar content of them particular goods. It's just going to lead to more and more cravings. And I've done this before, where I've sat down after work watch the football, watch the movie or things like that, have a bar of chocolate, then a bar of crisps, then another bar of chocolate, then jellies, then Pringles, and it just goes on and on and on, craving and craving and craving. Simply put, if our body doesn't get enough fuel, we're going to seek it from other sources, and we're just going to crave different foods. Let's talk about what we can do to reduce our cravings or mitigate them entirely. The first thing we can do is have a proper breakfast. If we swap over a high sugar breakfast of say Cheerios or cereal and orange juice for something that is full of protein and full of healthy fats like omelets, it'll make a really big difference in our cravings. And another thing we can do is add a lot of fibre to our meals and breakfast in particular as well. The likes of vegetables, brown bread, brown pasta, brown rice, any carbohydrate that has not been stripped of its fibre essentially. And what this does, going back to the analogy of a roller coaster, it's going to slow down the release of energy in our body. Instead of getting that sudden rush of energy, which then crashes a few minutes later, the energy is going to be released in our body gradually over time, meaning that we are going to stay full for a longer period of time because the energy is gradually being released throughout the day, and it's going to stop the cravings kick in, whether it be at 11 o'clock for that Nature Valley bar, or 12:30 for our lunch, or 3 o'clock for that afternoon snack. This is going to keep us feeling full for longer. And the other thing to do is just to reduce the amount of sugar that you're taking in on a daily basis. Sugar is addictive, and the more you have, the more you want. So the less sugar that you take in, the less cravings you're going to get. And just to hit the nail on the head here as well, instead of having say your sugary processed foods, have more nutrient dense foods, whole foods as well. Good meat, healthy cheeses, your vegetables, eggs and things like that. Real food. Because just to emphasize this, it's going to keep us feeling full for longer. It's going to stop cravings. Whereas on the right side here, if you have a diet consistent of high sugar, highly processed foods, it's just going to lead to more cravings, more calories and less energy. And just going back to talking about how the environment affects the cravings around us, one way to deal with this is to log our food. This is good for two reasons. One, it's going to give us accountability on the amount of calories and the amount of food that we consume on a daily basis and keep us accountable. But two, it's going to help us build an awareness of one, why we're eating in the first place, and it's going to have us second guessing if we're actually hungry in the first place. If you have MyFitnessPal and you're sitting down, you're thinking about your cravings or things like that, your bar of chocolate or whatever it may be, and you have to log that, you're going to second guess having that bar of chocolate because one, you might be over your calorie count, or two, you might be just building that level of awareness that you're asking yourself, am I actually hungry in the first place? And another way to build on this as well is that if you do have a sweet tooth and crave sugary things, if they're around the house, you are going to get them. And especially if they're looking at you as well. We had the Easter eggs there and they're just staring us down, sitting right beside us. And they're so tempting. But if we switch this around and make getting sugary food a lot less harder, if we don't have it in the house, if we don't buy it in the shopping, it's going to take the easiness away from consuming it. Therefore, it's not going to be as appealing. But on the flip side of this, if we make healthy eating a lot less laborious, if it's a lot easier, if we have our food prepped and it's ready to go, it's going to be so much easier to eat healthy. And you're constantly going to have this dilemma as well. You're going to be hungry, or you can go for the quick 5-minute option, which might be a bar of chocolate, a packet of crisps, or that 40-50 minute option where you have to prep your food. 9 times out of 10, as humans, we're naturally going to go for the easier option. We need to flip this on our head, and we need to make healthy eating a lot easier to do, and this will really impact not just our cravings, but our diet overall. So in summary, let me move my head here. What leads to cravings is sugar, the dopamine hit that we get from processed foods because they contain the perfect mixture of sugar, salt and fats. Our environment is going to affect our cravings too, that if we have different triggers around our house that leads to us thinking about chocolate or crisps or whatever it may be, that's going to play an impact. And then restricting our calories too much is going to lead to cravings, because we have to compensate for the less amount of fuel that we're taking in on a daily basis. How we can stop them is having a diet full of fibre as well, from brown carbohydrates, from the likes of porridge, vegetables and things like that. And this will slow down the release of energy in our systems and then reduce the cravings that we get. Having a breakfast that is high in healthy fats and high in protein as well will make a big difference. Logging our food also will give us that awareness and accountability, and just making it really hard to access sugary foods in the first place will really reduce our cravings and just make it really harder to eat bad as well. And we flip that on our head and make it really easy to eat good. It's going to really impact our diet as well. So look, hopefully you found this video insightful. Any questions on this or anything around nutrition, let me know. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.